Every leader is constantly learning. You learn from what other people have to say, books, seminars, talks. You learn from your own experience, what's good and what's bad. You learn from life itself, teaches us a lot of lessons. Every leader is constantly learning. Great leaders take what they learn and they find a way to capture that lesson or wisdom and recall it in times of need. Sometimes leaders are in a fast situation and there are a lot of decisions that need to be made over a short period of time, and it helps to be able to draw on wisdom and lessons, leadership principles that you've already established, and communicate those or use those when they're needed. If you think back to Solomon, very, very wise leader, he learned a lot and he distilled his learning in Proverbs, short, pithy statements of wisdom that he could draw from and also teach to other people so that they could learn from his wisdom as well. I've been around other leaders who have done this. Bill Hybels did it with his Axioms book. Other people do it. John Maxwell has lists of leadership lessons or leadership rules. What I am doing today is explaining what a hyperglyph is and using this as a common language for leadership. A hyperglyph is a combination of two words, hyper, which means fast, and glyph, which means a carving or writing. So if you think of a hyperlink, that's a fast link to somewhere else. You see this link and then it takes you to a bunch of other information. If you think of hieroglyph, that's a sacred carving, something that's carved into a wall or a picture on the wall. So hyperglyph is a picture that when we see it, it takes us to a wealth of information and knowledge that we can draw from quickly. So hyperglyphs are simply very basic pictures that carry with them a load of leadership wisdom that we can both draw from and share with other people. I've found even in recent time, our leadership conversations and our brainstorming and our planning, we often use these hyperglyphs and this language when we're identifying problems or talking about solutions. This common language helps us speak quickly but know a lot of what we mean by those things. So for example, this is a hyperglyph that's common in our culture. I'm not a good drawer, which is great because you don't have to be able to do these hyperglyphs, but this simple picture of a hand draws us back to thinking about likes and Facebook, but other applications. So when we see this hand, if we would see it on a paper we did, if we'd see it on a post we made, we know somebody's affirming us, liking us, and this little icon carries with it a meaning. That's what hyperglyphs are. So in the next videos, I'll explain what the hyperglyphs are and how to draw and use them.